Alrighty guys, my project for today is to change the outer U-joint on this front wheel here. It's bad. Let me get this tire off here and I'll show you what she looks like. Alrighty guys, I got the tire off. This is why I got to change the U-joint. The needle bearings are completely gone. So in order to change that, I've got to pull the brake caliper off, and then there's a bolt here, one down here on the other side that you can't see from over here, and one right here, and they got to come out. So we'll see if we can't get them out of there. Alrighty guys, I'm working on getting this universal joint changed on my truck. Let me show you here a new one. This is what the head of the bolts are supposed to look like. It's like a 9/16 12-pointed socket. This one here's not too bad. Okay, you can see it's mostly there. This one here I was kind of worried about. You can see it's half rusted away. This one up here has been a pain. You can see it right there. I've cut most of the outside washer part off with a cutting wheel. I tried putting a socket on it. No way, just stripped right around. This thing, I've been working on this thing for, oh gosh, probably an hour and a half now. Like I said, I cut it off, cut most of the outside washer part off with the cutting wheel, and then beat on it, heated it up with a torch, sprayed it with WD-40, heated it with a torch again, sprayed it with WD-40 again. Then I pulled this the outer brake hub off, the brake rotor. And I got the other 2 bolts out already, and I heated it here with a torch, sprayed it with WD-40, and then pounded on it with a hammer and a chisel, and I finally got it to turn. So, but like I was saying, you can see here, that's junk. So that's the whole point, is to pull this hub off, pull the whole hub off, change the universal joint and put it back together. And then I bought 3 new bolts to put it back together with, instead of using the old bad ones, because that one I couldn't use, I ruined it. So just trying to get it off. So we'll check back with you when I get a little farther on this. Alrighty guys, I finally got that bolt out. Like I said, this one's the one with the head kind of half rusted away. This one was way worse. I ended up cutting, as you can see here, most of the washer part off, because that's where the pressure is applied. I ended up cutting, you know, better than 3/4 of that off to get the pressure off the head of the bolt so I could get it to turn. I mean, if it wasn't for WD-40, a torch, and a pair of vice grips, I would have never got that sucker off there. That thing was stuck on there bad, and you can see the ribs there where it used to have the ribs where the socket would fit on, and there's just nothing left. I mean, this one's bad here, but this one's just way worse. And yeah, if it wasn't for WD-40, I would have never got that off. You know, here it is compared to a new one. That's what's left of it. So thank God I got that bugger off there. Now I've got to separate this hub right here and pull this out so I can change that bad universal joint. So that's what we're going to do next, and we'll let you know how it goes. Oh, after a half hour of beating with the chisels, I finally almost got this thing. Hee-haw! There it goes. That back plane ain't in too good a shape, but I got it. Here comes the drive shaft. Yeah, Now I just got to replace that universal and put it back together. All right. Finally got it. Whew. All right. I'm going to wire brush around this hub, clean it all up, get all that rust off there. All that crud. Grease it up. I'm going to wire brush in the side here where the hub goes. Grease that all up before I put it back together. That thing was unreal to pull out of there. To take my scraper and clean that out where those marks are from me beating on it with a chisel. But we'll clean it up, start putting her back together. Alrighty, I didn't show this part on video. I've done enough cussing today. I didn't want to do some cussing on video. I've hit my hands so many times. In order to get this U-joint out of here, there's these little retainer rings that go right in there, right in along that edge. And you got to take a screwdriver and a hammer and pop them out of there. And then you'll beat the caps out of here to get this thing apart. So I'm gonna go and do that and disassemble this, and then we'll clean it up and start putting everything back together. Alrighty, trying to get this out of here. Got to get this cap out of here to get that part of the U-joint out. Then I can beat the cap out of the other side. I'm using a brass hammer. It just doesn't want to come out of there for me. Killing my wood block. It's moving. It's moving just slowly. Almost. I already got the other side out. I get this one out of there, and I got the one left to do. I can beat that out from the other side with a punch. Almost. There we go. Got it out of there. Now we can set this up on the block and beat it through the other way with the punch. Get the other side out. Alright, caps out the other side. There goes my bad U-joint. It's done. Bearings are totally flat in there. Yeah, you can't really see them, but they are totally flat in there, just worn flat. They're not even rolling, and these bearings are totally gone. Just nothing left. So, alright, we're gonna clean this up and start putting it back together. Alrighty guys, I've cleaned everything up with some emery cloth and wire brush, and now we got to start putting it back together. Here's the little clips that hold the caps in. 4 little clips. I'll set them aside for now. Now you're going to take your U-joint out, and you're going to very carefully pull the caps off. 3 of the 4 sides. Actually, I think I'm just going to pull one off. or 2 off, I should say, because I can wait, make the other sides wait. And what you want to do is very carefully put it in there and then put one cap back on. You don't want to mess up these roller bearings. That's the last thing you want to do. So you want to make sure you keep that cap down on there all the time, and then just carefully tap it back in, because you do not want to mess with them roller bearings or you're screwed. Sometimes you can save one of the roller bearings out of one of the other caps if they're not too bad, but these are too far gone to try and save one if I had to. You just want to tap that in there far enough to get that retainer ring on there. Alrighty, that looks like it should be good. Snap that retainer ring in there. And then when you do your other side, you're going to want to kind of slide that over a little bit to center it, so there's no chance that those roller bearings are going to mess up in there. They're good. A little bit more so we can get that retainer ring in there. That other cap might have gone a little too far. Once you get your second retainer in there, you can tap a little bit either way. Try and loosen it up a little bit. There we go. Much better. Now for the second part, now you want to take your other 2 caps off. Just be careful not to contaminate those bearings. You don't want to get any dirt in there. And you don't want them to fall apart. If they do fall apart in there, then you've got to stick them all back in place and use some grease to get them all back in there and get them held in place. And it's not a lot of fun, so it's best just to not mess them up. I cleaned all these slots out where these go in with the emery cloth and the wire brush. Alrighty. Put my next clip in. Oops. Alrighty. We got that one. Now we're going to slide this over a little bit. Not too much. I'll slide it over a little bit so when we put this cap in, it kind of helps hold the bearings. Tap this cap in. You just kind of tap around it. Don't hit flat on it, hit on around, work your way around, tap it together. Alrighty, looks like we might have enough room in there for the last clip. use my screwdriver to pop it down in there the rest of the way. Almost. Alrighty, we got the new U-joint installed. It's in there now. All we got to do is put the truck back together. So we'll clean up here and get back over there to the passenger front side of my truck and start putting this back in. Alrighty guys, I'm ready to put this back in. Since this backer plate that goes here is not in too good a shape, I might want to change that in the future. Well, not even just that. I'm going to grease this up, a little wheel bearing grease. So next time that I have to take it apart, maybe it won't be so difficult. Put a little around the hub here. Because it was really not very easy to take out today. Took 3 chisels and a whole lot of hammering. So, alrighty, putting it back's not too hard. Just lift her up, slide your axle back in there. You got to get it to line up in the housing in there. Get it to line up. Sorry there guys, my camera battery went dead on me when I went to turn the wheel. And I put one bolt in and realized that the camera wasn't on. So I gotta put these other bolts in. I got the backer plate back on there. I don't really know if that plate's necessary. I mean, just to stop brake dust, but it might work as a spacer too. These bolts started here. And that one's going. Get this one started. Alright, that one's going. And for the other bolt, I'll have to turn the wheel the other way. Get these down where they're snug first, and then I'll turn the wheel back, get the other bolt started, and then tighten all 3. And you want to tighten these bolts just like tightening the lug nuts on a tire. You want to work in a pattern, work around. Don't just tighten one bolt down all the way, or you're going to tighten this hub in crooked. So I'm just going to snug them down to where they're touching. And then I'll go turn the wheel the other way, get the other lug, or the other bolt, hub bolt, tighten down snug where it's touching. And then I'll tighten all 3. Alrighty, let me turn the wheel the other way, get the other bolt going, and we'll get back at you. Alrighty guys, I turned the wheel, I got the other bolt in. And I'll snug the bolts up. And then use the breaker bar to torque them. Now I don't know if there's a specific torque on these, but I'm going to put them as tight as I dare without fear of snapping them off. Use the breaker bar on that one. Yeah, I'm just going to put them as tight as I can without the fear of snapping them off. Sorry I missed a little bit there because my camera battery went dead. Alrighty, that one's pretty good. Seems pretty good. And trust me, if you have to do this on your Dodge truck, not just for the fact that a bad bolt is a pain to get out, they're very expensive, almost 28 bucks a piece. Cost me $85 for three bolts. So yeah, before you get into a project like this, you might want to look at the bolts and make sure they're good, because they're very expensive. Alrighty, I'd say that's good. We can put the brake rotor back on, put the caliper back on, put the tire back on, and take her out for a test drive. So we'll catch you guys in a little bit here. One more thing. Once you get your rotor back on, I got the caliper stuck up in there. This caliper is actually fairly easy. There we go. It's just held on by these two socket head cap screws, Allen screws some people call them. It's just held on by those two screws. And I've got a ratchet for putting them on. You just snug them back down, put the tire back on, and it's all done. So there's how you change the universal joint on a 97 Dodge Ram 1500.